Hi, everybody. This is Lee, your marketing director from afar. I am here today to give you your first video. It's designed for the regional managers, and so we can actually share another version of this to the leasing teams. So I'm going to share my screen with you guys. Maybe with share two. Okay, so what we're doing today is talking about how our specials have not been advertised on apartments.com thus far, unless there was a random banner designed, which apartments.com really frowns on. So what we'll do is each management staff down there that does not have an apartments.com login will get one super easy. They will hit sign up, fill out the information, and there's a little drop down menu for property manager so they don't get inundated with emails. That's how I have it set up, and I rarely get an email from apartments.com. So once they're actually in here, there's a couple of things that they should be doing. But let's start with the specials. And for that, we hit this menu button. The drop down menu comes down, properties and listings. You're going to hit properties. When mine opens up here, you'll see that I have access to all of the properties, of course, but when they sign in, they'll only have access to their property, or in those few cases where they manage multiple properties from a single office, they'll have access to those. Now, we could also, if you float anybody, we could work on getting access to multiple properties for that as well. But that is something we can talk about on an individual basis. So when you're looking at apartments.com, there are going to be other things that we look for, but for the specials, they're not integrating very well with Rent Cafe. And so we're going to go right around Rent Cafe, super easy. You're going to open up the edit the property. Just in case you didn't see that, I'm going to do it again. It's edit listing. Okay. And then you're going to have several choices here. Now they can look around on these. The vast majority of everything on here is going to be locked because it's being populated by our Rent Cafe feed. But we're going to hit property. We're going to scroll down and we're going to find please enter rent special information. What we're going to do is give it a nice fancy title, like looking lease special, half off rent. This is not where you put your details. This is where you just sum it up. Down here, you would put your details. Half off, first full month's rent on select apartments. Then you give it a date, which will be today's date. And then you give it an end date. I usually suggest a week. That way, we're doing this once a week. And if the specials change, if they get increased or decreased or removed completely, we don't have a date showing up on apartments.com that promises it any longer than we want it to be promised. So in this case, I would just go down to Friday the 2nd. Once that's done, they'll just hit save changes, which I'm not going to do on this one. It'll save automatically. And what will happen is depending on their package level, like platinum plus, and diamond, these are going to actually show up um, as a little tag on their listing. But every listing will have a special listed at the top, which apartments.com prospects are are looking for. So this shows that it's running a special, and this is what it looks like. It does take a little while to populate. That's why I decided not to do one in real time with the video. Um, what happens is you put it in apartments.com, their system takes a little while, and then it generates this nice little coupon here. Um, this has a lot of flexibility because it's just text. So if we want to enter a code, we can do that. If we want to enter a specific direction, we can do that. This is where I will put temporary decreasing rent costs, like we did out in Texas. This is where we're going to try and promote that. Um, let's see. And before I let you go, I will show you the last thing for apartments.com that I would really like to see happen um, sooner rather than later. Um, just a quick search. So you can go back to the main page, apartments.com, and type in your town. So I'm going to go with Columbus, Georgia. And we're going to take note as how far down our properties go, how far down they appear, and if the um, the main image that's showing here looks good. If they're uncertain about what that first image looks like, there may be a reason why we're using it, and I'm happy to share that. But there's also a good chance that it's coming through the feed in an order that I haven't been able to change yet, and so it may not be showing the best photo for grabbing people's attention at the property. So if we do a quick search like this, it also reveals how far down somebody has to scroll to get to our property. So in the negative, we can find out, well, there's azalea, which is cool, and that's a nice picture. We could find out that we're just way down here, and the property's hurting. We may have to talk about increasing the package so that we can get higher up on this screen. But in the positive, for instance, we just talked about rolling out the new property, Highland Park. And when you do a quick search for Highland Park's area, there's virtually no competition there. There's a few, but there was absolutely no reason for ranking purposes that we would need to pay an arm and a leg for a real high package. So it would just depend on the media we want to use um, in the listing. I can talk a little bit more about apartments.com uh, as we go on, but I kind of wanted to have these focused on one or two things. So for now, just doing a quick search at apartments.com for the property, taking a look at where they fall in the order that prospects are seeing them. If they do that search, they can also search for their zip code, how that picture looks. That's a pretty cool picture. Also really low pricing here at Midland Falls. So, anything that we can highlight that's creative like this is cool, but most of the time, these kitchen pictures are right on target. So that will be that part. And then just really quickly, this is how quick it is to change a special on apartments.com. I'm going to go to menu, go into properties. I'm only going to have one property up, so I'm going to hit that edit listing button. And you can always go back and see the slower version of this. but we can go to property. We're going to scroll down. I'm going to enter this information. Funny title, fancy title, uh, boisterous title. Here's your details. Here's your start date, which is always today's date, and your end date, which I'm recommending to be a week. Save changes, and you're done. So this is the first video. I don't make a whole lot of these training videos. So I'm also open to tips if you think that certain things should be slowed down, or if you'd like to learn about other things. I'll be putting together one for Google Business Pro. We can talk about order of photography so that when they're looking at their listing and checking that out, they can email us and say, hey, it's kind of weird. All of our exterior building pictures are at the front of the listing, and they have to scroll down really far for pictures of the units. Um, that's not good. So it helps to know that. Go in, and even though I'm checking these periodically, whenever you have anything on a feed, whenever you have photographers going out at different times, they don't communicate very well on the photography. So they go out different times and they'll just post all the photos that they took. They take them and they don't put them necessarily in any order. They just pop right up. So those are kind of some of the things that we can talk about on future videos. Obviously, we can try to make these so that they go to the property teams. But I wanted this first one to go to you guys. It's a new responsibility to post that marketing special. But I think that with the way that Sharp currently communicates specials through the partner calls and the frequent changes, I think this is probably the best way to stay current and to keep those specials working for us in the listings. So I'm going to bid you farewell for today, and happy leasing.